These fluorescent lights blind my eyes, and every day is another compromise. Of all that takes a backseat in this society, my integrity, my ability. But there's a silent song inside my head. It's all that separates me from the walking dead.
I am Nil Gravity, and welcome to Initial Reaction. Since we did a less serious topic last week, we will be discussing giving nuclear power to Iran. I personally think it's a great idea, and assuming that my knowledge of my very brief researching of nuclear power doesn't have some major flaws in it. But basically, I know right now that the two spectrums of reaction are probably Iran is going to use the waste byproduct of nuclear power to make weapons-grade uranium, and then on the other end, you have people who just don't like nuclear power in general because the shit lasts forever and it's environmentally not the greatest thing ever, and what if there's a meltdown and all that good stuff. Well, I have a clip, and when I watched it, the first thing I thought of was the trade embargo with Iran over their desire for nuclear power.
I had no idea what thorium is. It's actually a radioactive metal. And there have been cases in the past where nuclear power plants were supposed to be powered by thorium instead of uranium. However, the Nixon administration nixed it. Now, it's really, really fascinating. Motherboard did this great documentary that you guys should check out on YouTube. We took a little part of it where they explain what thorium is. Take a quick look at that, and then we'll discuss this car.
A decade before, he called nuclear power society's biggest Faustian bargain. Alvin Weinberg was one of the country's leading nuclear physicists. He invented the light water reactor, the world's most common kind today, the type used at Fukushima. But in the 1960s, as director of Oak Ridge National Laboratory, he began to pursue another idea, called the molten salt reactor. Instead of operating at high pressure with a solid fuel made of uranium, it worked at low pressure, using a liquid fuel that could be made of thorium. Thorium has many advantages. It can produce about 90 times as much energy as uranium and a fraction of the waste. And that waste isn't useful for making bombs. The reactor was considered walk-away safe because it relied on physics, not machines or humans, to keep the reaction under control.
So as I watch that, Anna, I get so sad about all the progress that was stopped in its tracks. Because once we started using uranium and once we started doing nuclear power plants, well, then a whole industry developed around that way of getting energy.
Around uranium,
right.
Exactly.
Right. So then people are like, well, then I got no use for thorium. Like, I don't make money that way, I make money this way.
That's exactly right.
We're going to go in that direction for decades on end, right or wrong.
So,
All right, and that was in the context of a new concept car. But I think they did touch on exactly what I'm talking about here. I think that the only reason that we're not offering to do molten salt reactors for Iran, you know, if they're like, oh, we just want the power, how come our ambassadors or whoever's negotiating in the State Department, how come they're not just like, oh, well, how about you do the safer version that can't be weaponized? And I think the reason why is because the people who lobby for these things, they can't make money off of thorium. From the research I did, and you know, I did just a very fundamental amount because I just want to start the conversation, and you know, I don't know enough about the subject. So who knows? What they're saying in the video might not be true, and maybe there's some limitation on it that I don't understand. But assuming that this is a technology that can be built anywhere, it really does seem to come down to money, because from some of the other research I did, thorium is extremely common. They can't mark up the value of it like they do uranium, because uranium is extremely rare, where thorium, if I remember right, just about like every state in the Midwest has enough to fuel the entire world for 100 years or something like that, because it's just like there's so much of it in the soil and everything like that if you just like separate it, which I guess could be a cost benefit thing. Like aluminum isn't very energy efficient to make because when you mine it out of the ground, it's like a powder. And so it takes a crap ton of electricity to refine aluminum into a metal that we can use. But you know, like Iceland, or no. It's Iceland? No, it's Greenland. Greenland is a geothermic hotbed, and so I heard that there were going to be aluminum mines who were going to start sending all their aluminum to Greenland, to Iceland. I keep screwing it up. They're going to send it to Iceland because Iceland has more energy than the populace can afford. So it's cheaper to ship it all up there and then have them refine it and then send it out. And it could be the same deal with thorium if anybody's interested. And we've seen where like corporate greed will affect policy. For instance, diamonds are not rare. Diamonds are composed of carbon, and they're which is what all life is made of. The original definition of the word organic meant to contain carbon, and it was used for life because all life contains carbon on Earth. Though there was like I guess it could be made from silicon, but I don't want to have to re-research that. But basically, all life on Earth has carbon in it, and so potentially diamonds could be made of that if they just had enough pressure. In fact, in artificial diamonds, they make it from they put peanut butter and human ashes and all sorts of shit in those artificial diamonds to in the machines that make those. But the only reason diamonds cost so much money is because De Beers has huge grain silos full of diamonds that they purposely keep off the market, and they buy out mines, and they're basically mark up the price for something that's made from one of the most common elements on Earth. So and that's exactly why this thorium thing isn't happening. So our State Department and the movers and shakers, let's just put it down to that, none of them are going to come up with the idea of thorium reactors for Iran because they can't make money off of it. Or maybe, hey, if they just haven't thought of it yet, hopefully they hear this show and they realize, oh shit, we could fix this whole Iran thing, or at least call them on their bluff. At the very least, that's what this would do. If Iran is serious about having nuclear energy and not the weapons grade material that comes with it, then they're going to have to drop that pretense if we offer to help them build thorium reactors, or at least allow them to build thorium reactors. So I just wanted to float that out there, and hopefully, and I'm trying to talk a little bit faster because it keeps me from saying as much, and also the show ran a little long last time, and I want to make these happen more often. So subscribe, because I haven't figured out how often I can do these yet. Hopefully by doing them shorter and more concise like this, I'll be able to knock them out. I'm aiming for every other week, and then once I get some momentum on it, hopefully I can get it to weekly. And if I get enough subscribers and stuff, I'll be able to create a model that'll allow me to do them weekly. I don't think I can do it more than that. So until next time, man, I need to get a sign-off. Anybody suggest in the comments below what the sign-off is if you don't have an opinion on nuclear power for Iran. Quick update. I recorded last night and this morning. Even though I was not planning on working on this at all, I found myself researching salt reactors. Excuse any background noise. I normally turn off my computer and everything, but I just wanted to get this done real quick. It looks like everything on thorium reactors is pretty much theoretical from what I just did a quick Google search. So to change my argument slightly, if that is the case, if it's all just theoretical, wouldn't it be worth it for national security or international security research the technology? Because the biggest drawback I'm seeing on this is that they just haven't done as much development as they have on the more profitable nuclear reactor models. So I think this is a time for government intervention, and we should be researching it so when these despotic countries are saying that they want power, we'll be able to help them obtain non-weaponized technology for energy. Basically going back to what I was saying initially, which is call them on their bluff. If they say they just want power, be like, oh, good, then you can go with a molten salt reactor because that's no danger to the rest of the world. There will be people who say dirty bombs. Dirty bombs are not really that dangerous. They're just bombs with radioactive material on them. It's no more dangerous than us using spent uranium in our ammunition, and that's what we give our soldiers. So, like, if you want to talk dirty bombs, a dirty bomb is no different than using a uranium round. So we've been littering, countries like Iraq with mini dirty bombs. Because if you look up what a dirty bomb is, it's just an explosive with some with uranium on it. It's basically like an armor-piercing bullet. Well, bullets are projected with little explosives inside the casing. So it's no different. Any effect from the explosion is actually being felt by the soldier. So that's like a whole other topic that we probably need to discuss at some point, is the fact that we're giving our soldiers mini dirty bombs to launch in their immediate vicinity just to project a bullet with a little more stopping power. So hopefully a conversation could be started around this, and I hope I helped shed a little more light on this topic that people don't seem to be talking about, or at least not this angle. So until next time.